This conference will now be recorded.
We're not going to wait any longer for anyone else. As you come in, enjoy the room, sit back. If it's your first time, you're always free to ask as many questions as you like. Whether you're a subscriber or not is irrelevant to me. I'm here for you. So let me start off like we always do. Nothing more important than rewinding. We have to be able to remain accountable to ourselves, and more importantly, for someone in my business, to those who trust me to share plus EV information and are willing to pay money for me to provide that. I owe you that accountability. And I think the industry has done wrong by not forcing everyone who sells their service to have that transparency, almost make it a mandate where if you're not putting up your weekly results, your year to date, you shouldn't be selling, because I don't know whether you're profitable or not. That should actually be an industry mandate. But with that said, let's go back. Forget the last 3 days. I joke about the last 3 days, but the sample size is so small, it never matters. Whether I'm 8-0 or 0-8, I can't sustain either. Neither will continue for very long. So I don't know why I see touts pushing their last 3 days or these streaks. I don't understand. I guess for some reason it makes people emotional and they think it means something, but we're not even going to discuss last 3 days, no matter how good they are or how bad they are. That's erased from now on. You got to give at least 7 days, a handful of plays. So over the last 7 days, we're plus 15.79 units. I've given out 50 plays. It is such a team effort. I should say we every time. So that's 50 plays in 7 days, about an average of 7 plays per day with a 10% ROI. That's double what I can do long term. Excellent. I love the result, but it's very hard to sustain a 10% ROI in all total markets over a 2,000 bet sample size. I can do it over a 50 bet sample size, probably over even 100 or 200 bet sample size. When you get the 2,000 bet sample size, which actually matters for statistical significance and what betting syndicates look for, you're not going to get that kind of ROI. Now, I have done it over the last 30 days. As you can see, we're up 70.5 units, giving out 166 bets in 30 days. So what's that? About 5-6 bets a day. Again, that's not a lot of volume when you're hitting this many markets. And if you're following the bet size, you should never sweat volume at all, because I've already weighed out the units that I know you already have that, the percentage to lay, unless you're over betting. The only time you're getting nervous that I sent too many plays is if you don't have the money to bet them. And the only reason you don't have the money to bet them is because you've over bet the plays you already put action on. And that can't happen, or else I can't help you get these results. And the results I'm talking about are year to date, up 309 units, 0.12, close to 2,000 bets, that's statistical significance, and an ROI of 5.3%. I can do that forever. I can honestly do that forever in today's market. I said that when I sat down with Kelly at Wager Talk back in 2017, and so far so good. With every year I've turned a profit except one. The reason I bring that up is because you will not turn a profit and your results will not reflect mine unless you manage risk correctly. So let's get that out of the way now that we rewound and we know where we're sitting. What I want to add real quickly, let's not forget, when we started this subscription, I wasn't even at plus 200 units. Remember that. Wasn't even at plus 200. We have since increased our profit by 50%. And the best part of the year isn't even here yet when football's going on. And all the focus is on football. That's why a day like today, where it's UFC pay-per-view, I have so many MMA plays because it's so high profile. That's when a sharp guy like me finds value in those markets that are saturated with the heaviest amount of public money. When a market's saturated with short money, even someone seasoned like myself that's confident in his plus EV is still going to have a harder time of taking advantage of inefficiencies or even finding them. So when football comes, that's what it actually does. We do well with football, and if we repeat, 2 seasons ago, it'll be amazing. But with that said, it's because all the focus is on football that we get to bet the baseball season, especially towards the playoffs, when that's where the money is. And then you have NBA and college basketball and NHL starting up. And no one cares about those sports in the beginning of the season. That's where we're able to make a ton of money and pick off a lot of value. But you got to bet correctly. And remember, there's 2 pieces of the puzzle how we bet. We have our bankroll and we have our bet size. This cannot change. This never changes. This is what we change. Here's what I mean. We simply never change the fact that we bet 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, and 1.25 of our bankroll. And that's based on a 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, and 5% rating that I release my premiums as. The percentage that's attached to the premium, it's simply to reflect the strength of the bet. We play a quarter of that. We don't bet 5% on anything. We don't bet 4% on anything. We don't bet 3% on anything where we're asking to go broke during negative fluctuation. We're asking to not make money when we don't follow proper risk management. And I've told you before, I lost a lot of money to figure this out. You don't have to. You are here because you're sharp enough to realize the puzzle's been figured. Like we've got, here it is. The jigsaw puzzle is figured out. We have to now just use the information properly. You don't have to waste your time coming up with algorithms and ways to beat the market. We're beating the market. What you need to do is manage your risk properly. And as you gain experience and learn, you will start to pick off inefficiencies yourself. That becomes inevitable because you will start to look at this from a sharp and winning bettor's perspective, not from a fan and recreational bettor's perspective, which the 99% does and don't even realize it. So again, we have our bankroll. If it's $10,000, we already know we're betting 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, and 1.25. With a 10% bankroll, what's that mean? $25, $50, $75, $100, and $125. Our biggest bet is $125, right? We're not going crazy and over betting. Let me even make sure because it's been a long day. So we got to make sure all because I'm doing it with a $5,000 bankroll, a $10,000 bankroll, a $20,000 bankroll. People are asking, so hold on. It's simply put 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, 1.25. We never bet more than 1.25 of our bankroll. Ever, 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 ever. It's really that simple, man. If you can do that, I promise you, we will make money. But you have to bet 20. If you have $10,000, you're betting to win on a favorite or flat betting 25 on a dog on a 1% play. You're betting $50 on a dog or to win 50 on a favorite on a 2% play, $75 on a 3% play, $100 on a 4% play, and $125 on a 5% play. We never bet more than that. And what would you be up? What would you be up? Let's do the math. I'm up what? 311 units times $25 a unit. You're up 7,700 with a $10,000 bankroll, minus what you're paying for the information. And if you're taking advantage, I know it hurts to come out of pocket. I did it with the investment stuff subscriptions I paid for, and my ROI increased overnight. because I got a couple free months out of it by paying up front. Again, that's the best we could do, is try to make it as cheap as possible for your overhead. If your business is a $10,000 business, you want to limit your overhead. So if you could bring down the price of your information by investing long term, that's the way to do it. Buying weekly, monthly, it costs more. I make more money, but you make less profit. And I swear to you, I told you, if there's just one of us in here, I want, when the year's over, I don't care how much shit's talked about it, we're going to stand there and be able to say, this is what we made this year. We documented it. We were here every single week going over the results. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong. Again, it's not to prove anything, but simply to show that once you have an edge, the rest is easy if you have that discipline. If you don't have that discipline, your edge is meaningless. It will not help you. If I send out a 4% play and you have a $10,000 bankroll, and instead of betting 100 and you bet 500, you will go broke whether that wins or loses eventually. Like, my results will not reflect yours. You are gambling. That's not what I'm doing. And if our goals are not aligned, I will disappoint you. I cannot say it any better way. Today is a very busy day in sports. We have UFC 291, a huge event. I'm coming off a 5% winner in the UFC last week. You don't see a 5% up today. You know how much I would sell to close out this month if I put a 5% play today? If just one of these 4%, I said, you know what? Just fuck it, Johnny, bump it up, make it a 5, and let's go at it. Let's sell. It's that easy to make extra thousands of dollars. I will not do it, dude. I promise you, I will not do it. If I'm willing to do that for you, please, for me, I ask you, bet size correctly. Give me that time. When we started the subscription, I asked, give me 1 month. I'll give this to you for free. Just give me 1 month and just follow this, whether you're starting with $50. Please, just follow along this percentage and see what happens. After that month, you would have made money if you followed it. Now here we are 3 months later, and we've doubled where we were, 50% increase since we started. By simply following along, not over betting, never sweating a result. Sure, I get pissed when it's a bad beat, but I know I bet 1%. That's it. When you start, remember, if you're not over betting, you're not sweating. The only time you're sweating is if you're over betting. And I know I'm going long on this, but all this is nothing. I'll give you plays. I don't give a shit. I get more plays than you could ever imagine. If I sent everything, forget about it. But instead, I don't do that. Hold on, stuff's coming in, I believe. This is a good source too. Crawford decision plus 180. So we're going to bet Crawford to win by decision at plus 180. It's going to be a 3% play. Let me write that down because I'm in the middle of talk. This ain't going nowhere. Don't worry about that. Via decision plus 180. Okay. That was the confirmation I was looking for. Crawford was the side I was looking to bet. Didn't want to lay the juice. Very, very solid boxing source I had. Share some information when he has a decent size bet. And he just confirmed it for us. So it will be a premium play. Crawford via decision. I'll give it out plus 175 because if he bet it, probably already moved. No problem with that at all. Remember, let me see what else. All right. So yeah, again, it's just Crawford right now by decision. You know what? Let's make that official. Let me get that out there. Sorry. You're gonna have, when football happens, you're gonna have to stick around and watch this go out. Again, this isn't a show. This isn't a podcast. You're in a trading room where this is really happening. You know, we're betting this shit. Make it prop. Make it 175. plus 175. God damn. I'm just not good at this shit. I'm not good at the typing and the text shit. I make so many mistakes. Thank God for Wager Talk customer service and the patience of those women. Yeah, see, it shouldn't take me this long to freaking type it. The assistant will be here for football. Don't worry if I'm having any problems. But again, make sure if you're going to be around for football, don't wait. We're filling up spots. This isn't like, ooh, to get you to you know, get out there and buy. But I don't know if I could handle more than 100 people. I already closed that with Wager Talk and Gianni, and he's on board. He understands that. Until I know that I could handle more, I'm not taking on more. I want to be sure every one of those people had my undivided one-on-one attention. And in a room on a Sunday, there'll be a lot going on. So I know they're giving a 50% off coupon even for people to jump in and try out. They're doing so much to try to get you in the door, trusting that once you see what we're doing, it becomes an obvious choice. It's not even that the results are so good for the year. Forget that. I'm talking about what's coming up ahead, the end of this year, the year after, as we keep increasing our bankrolls. And remember, this piece of the pie will grow. Right now, it's a $10,000. The guy that started with a $10,000 bankroll, let's say we don't win anything else. That's it. We break even the rest of the way. I just chop. And we end up at that 300 units up, which is enough for number one, even if you add up the next couple guys. And what happens? He ends up winning only 7,000, okay? And let's say it cost him a dime. I don't even know what we charged, 1,500. I don't even know. Maybe he was sharp and he was able to close up a deal for a year. Say it cost him 1,000. So he made 6,000 in profit. And he says, you know what? I'm only going to take 1,000 of that and use it for normal stuff, or I'm going to spend it with my family, or go to a nice dinner, or buy something for myself. But with that other 5,000, I'm going to put that into my business. And now January 1st, 2024, that business is a $15,000 business, no longer a $10,000 business. You just increased your net worth of your business by 50%. Now you're 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, 1.25 is now bigger. A 1% play is no longer to win 100. A 4% play, which is only 1%. Remember, 0.25, 0.25, quarter Kelly, think quarter Kelly, quarter of the percentage. So now with the $15,000 bankroll, I send out a 4% play. What's 1% of that? 150. Now he's betting to win 150 on the dog. I mean, on a favorite, or 150 flat on the dog. No longer 100. He does this again. His business next year could be worth 20, 25,000. Before you know it, it's a $50,000 business, and a 4% play, which is 1%. Now a nickel. It starts to become real money, dude. That's how I did it, because I kept waiting for the big score. I played the big parlays. I bet big. Like I said, you know what, dude, I tried everything. Remember, I've been here now for 25 years, and I did it for a decade before I came here. So everything you could possibly think of and ways to lose money, I did it. I thought I'm just going to narrow it down to one play a day, and I'm going to narrow it down to my strongest, or one play a week, and I'm just going to bet more. And dude, I tried every way to make the big score. The time my life changed forever and my net worth changed and I got comfortable is when I exercised patience, and I decided that I'm going to put my head down, I'm going to work hard, and then when I look up, as long as I do the right thing and trust in myself, there's going to be a shitload of money sitting there, and I could start putting it to work. And that's exactly what happened. And now I don't have to sell picks anymore. I don't have to push packages. I don't have to tell you I have a lock, a 5% play. I'm 5-0 over my last 8 days. Who gives a fuck? What are you over the last year, bro? Can I make money with you? Okay? If you're into FOMO, you could go. It's okay. Nothing personal. If you see a hot streak on the Wager Talk page and a guy's, on a hot streak and that turns you on and you're like, damn, I'm missing out. Dude, this isn't for you. This isn't for you. Like, that shouldn't turn you on. That's great. I hope they're crushing it. And whoever that is on that hot streak is even up for doing their thing. But that's not what we're doing. We're not FOMOing into anything. We're grinding. We're actually doing this. It's kind of like the difference between, again, I'm not comparing myself to, this isn't about any other cappers, please. Or this is the site that's doing it right. Trust me when I tell you that. I'm talking about the industry as a whole. So believe me when I say, but it reminds me of those climate activists. And I saw the best meme yesterday. There was one side of the meme was a group of dudes that were men and women that were digging a dirty canal and getting the trash out of it and actually making a clean pathway, a waterway in this, wherever they were. Cleaned all this junk and debris and plastic and made it a fresh waterway. And then you had these stupid climate activists getting arrested and parading up and down the streets. One of them's actually doing the work and the other one's influencing, trying to sell the work, bullshitting people, putting the image out there that they're doing something. These guys are actually doing something. They're making a difference. These people aren't making a difference. They're just trying to get clicks. They're just trying to get followers. It's the same thing with this shit. Any advertisement of 8-0, which we all know means nothing, is just to get clicks, a buy click. It's not so you can make money doing it. To make money doing it, I'm going to tell you what I'm up for the year. This is how I did it, and this is how you can do it too. Here's the blueprint. I'm giving you the blueprint, but I can't follow it for you. That's the one thing I cannot follow. Oh, you know what we need? I want to see something really quick. You guys are going to get this to see if it shouldn't move it right now. The best, I need to get a dime down on Hiberio. I gave that out as a 2% play. I upgraded it to a 3% play, and I didn't have time to get another dime down. So I'm going to just going to bet a dime, and this shouldn't adjust the line, but I want to see if it does, because it's going to bet it into a on-screen account. So we'll see now. I'll even put it on the screen so you understand what I'm talking about. All right. All right, you're now sharing my screen, right? Perfect. Come on, why isn't this moving? Hold on, I got to turn on my VPN, man. Really? Oh, here we go. Sorry, guys. Again, not technically savvy, but I'm like, this should not move the line, a dime on Kopylov. I mean, Imperial Kopylov. Yeah, they got the best line, Pinnacle, at 186. I think I gave you guys a 180, right? All right, so here we go. Bet a dime. Confirm. Now let's see if that line moves, lights up. It shouldn't. It should not light up. Look how quick that was. Let's see. Is it going to move down more? Let's see. Is it lighting up? Come on, light up, light up. Oh, he's going. Yeah. Let's go another dime. Thank you, Mr. Acavano. Hold on. Oh, we're still in there. They didn't move it. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's 180 now. God damn. Yeah, 180 now. They moved it 6 cents. God damn, man. Want to put another dime and move the whole market? Because once they see penny go down to like 175, they're all going to go down. All these guys are going to light up like a Christmas tree. But I don't need more right now. I really don't. We'll wait for like football. I do need a, let me see if I need anything else real quick. Need that Simmonsburger. No. No. God damn. You know what? I do need another dime at Kopalov, and 180 is the best. Okay. We're going to have to do it, and then we'll get back to work, guys. I got a lot of stuff for you. Actionable stuff. Sorry. Yeah, 2 dimes should not move this even more now for the whole freaking nation, world, whatever. All right, plus 180. Let's get out of there. Let's wait and see. Let's get that down. We don't want to be on here. Let's just give it 5 minutes, see if that lights up. I just want to see if it goes down to 75. Again, we'll take the most action, so they probably won't. Off a dime. Off a second dime, actually, but I like it. No movement yet. All right. Okay. Staying stable. Staying stable. Good. Maybe it isn't flagged. I don't know. That first move gave me the feeling from 86 to 80. That could not have been coincidence, right? Could not have been coincidence. Oh, you see the Crawford line going up a little bit. Okay. All right. Let's get back to where we were. Let's get back to where we were. All right. So again, the bet size has to be what we talked about: 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, 1.25. That never changes. You already establish your unit size and you don't adjust for at least 6 months or 50%. I say a year is what I do, but I know some people are starting out and they want to try to move a little quicker. My suggestion is to give it a year. It really is. But again, I can't tell you how to use your money. That's on you. Hold on. Sorry, I just got to look at this real quick. Yeah, where are they? See what this number is real quick. Shit. Oh, yeah, good. Coming back a little bit. I like that. When you see a little comeback, good, 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 good. Okay, we got a decent number. I'm good there. I'm comfortable. Very comfortable. If it was like a CW, oh, forget about it. Forget about it. That thing would be moving for a nickel. You seeing the screen light up. And that's the next thing we need to get to before we get to bets and games. Football's coming. You need multiple outs. Listen, you're taking this for real. Whether you have a $5,000 bankroll, you need multiple outs. You need at least 2 or 3 prices to compare. They having 2 accounts, but they're the exact same companies, different properties. It's the same numbers. What I'm saying is you need a chance to at least shop a little bit, because we will be talking point spreads. Right now, most of our stuff is money line. MMA is money line. Baseball's money line. Sure, we had some totals, we had some props, we had some over-unders, but you could get away with taking a worser number and not have it appear to do the damage it does with a point spread. Meaning, if I send out minus 150 and it goes to minus 160, you could get away with betting it, and it even hasn't lost much EV. But if I send out minus 150, minus 3, excuse me, minus 110, and it goes to minus 3.5, and you could only buy it down for 40 cents, and you're like, oh, well, I could get minus 3, minus 140. You can't take that bet. We do not have the same bet. We have two different bets. You're forced to pass unless you want to gamble. And again, if you want to gamble, our goals are not aligned, and I will disappoint you. If your goal's to make money, that's why I do this. You know that. I hope you believe me by now. I do not like doing this. Like, I love trading. I enjoy the challenge of trading and beating markets, but except for watching MMA, I don't care about sports anymore. It's played out in my life. I watched so much of it growing up, and when I first was betting, I hung out at the casinos every 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, all screens, every sport, every game. Like, I don't need to see them anymore. I've lost and won every possible way. I spend my time differently. So for me, like, that doesn't matter. I only use this because I put in the work and have the network where I can make a great living, better an investment, better ROI than pretty much anything else I'm doing to date. I mean, I've done well with art, done well with equities, but I'm not as seasoned as much to take the risks. I don't even call it the risk, to put the capital that I do in sports, where it's like blackjack. I'll put all my capital. If you deal me cards, I'll put all my net worth. I'll sell it. If I could just do nothing but play 8 hours a day blackjack, I would sell everything and just play 8 hours a day blackjack. Like, that would be a dream come true for me. 5 days a week, go there, put in 3-hour shift, take a lunch, put in another 4-hour shift, come back. Oh my God, that would be amazing. I'd be averaging about over 1,000 bets a day, 5 days a week, 20,000 bets a month. I'm making a really good living. Unfortunately, that's just a dream. Sorry for wasting your time with that. But you can't. So I use sports, and as you can see, it's treat me well. So please, let's move on. But I cannot help you copy my results and even do better, because remember, you're going to get sharper and sharper. You're going to pass on some losers that I send out, and maybe upgrade your own winners that I send out. And your return might even be greater than mine. I want it to be. I really do. But you're going to have to do it the right way. Okay. So now let me go through a couple questions before we move on. Okay. Are you betting to win 3% or risking 3%? I'm never risking or betting to win 3% ever. If it's a 3% play, I'm betting or risking 0.75 of my bankroll, which has already been established. So if I have a $10,000 bankroll, I already know a 3% play is a $75 bet. If it's an underdog, even money, plus 105 or plus 200, whatever. If it's a dog, I flat bet it for $75. If it's a favorite, minus 120, I bet to win 75. So I would be betting $90 to win 75. That's how those results that I tweet are based on that with the VIG. It's in there. The VIG is added. So that's why I say your results could mimic mine exactly. If you have the outs and you bet size correctly, they won't be different. What else? How often can I put more of my own personal into bankroll? Great question, Ernesto. Excellent question. Excellent. That's exactly what you should be asking. Not how I could increase this size. What could I do with this size to get me to the promised land faster? Add to it when you get a chance. That's your business. That's what I was doing. Dude, I have no shame. I might even have it here. I sold real estate. I got a real estate license in Las Vegas. Yes, I did. When houses were so hot here back in 2000, 2002, 3, 4, 5, right around that, before the crash of 2008, because friends of mine in this industry, in the gambling industry, were all looking for homes. They had cash. They knew they could rent properties out. More importantly, the property was appreciating so quickly, they could hold it for a year and in some places double their money in some neighborhoods. No lie. So I went and got a real estate license and made commission off the network that I had in sports betting. I bartended at the MGM, even events. I drove a cab for a company where I know somebody that owns a bunch of cabs. I've done a lot of different things to supplement my bankroll, especially before I learned how to manage it properly. I have no shame, dude. I went broke multiple times. I paid for my education. That was the price of it. Going broke over and over and over again, and you either repeat or correct. Thank God it took me a while, but I chose to correct rather than repeat, because we know what to do. We know what not to do. Most of us are sharp enough. We know what the right thing is. We know when we're over betting. We know when our heart starts beating a little bit, when this game matters a little more. We tell ourselves we're not going to do it again. Just let me win this one so I could increase my bankroll a little bit and I'll go back to doing it right. It's all bullshit. Stop lying to yourself. If you're not prepared to do it right all the fucking time, don't take up the venture. Don't waste your money. There's so much other shit you can do with it. Dude, you could help so many people better than giving it to the casino and the sports books, because you're not going to win like that. Like, you're going to lose your money. Just be honest with yourself today. As of today, if you have to be 100% honest, what is your lifetime earnings betting sports? Who's holding the money? And since you started betting, if you went back and you didn't bet a penny of that money, if you never heard of sports betting, would you have more money today or not? Just be honest. 99%, if they're being honest, are going to say, yeah, I lost money betting sports. So it's not an easy task, dude. It's not an easy task. A fan's not making money. Analysts aren't making money. Journalists aren't making money. The most knowledgeable people in sports aren't making money betting sports. I hope you understand that. The industry, I think, has a lot of recreational bettors confused. There's a lot of people that talk about betting sports. There's a lot of people that bet sports. There's such a few amount of people on the planet that are profitable sports bettors and could actually prove it with documented results. Very, very few. So many are screaming how their results, and so few you could actually go back and look and actually see whether they are or not. That's just facts, guys. So that's why I don't want to waste your time. And more importantly, I don't want to waste your money. Like, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want you to waste it on a subscription for me. I swear to God, thank God. Not I don't need it. We all want and need money. But I'm not in a position in life where I'm desperate for cash. I don't need it. I don't want your money. Like, I only want to work with people. Please just sign up and buy a subscription if you want to work with me, if you want to partner with me. If you want to buy picks from me, if you want to gamble, I don't want your money. There's so many other guys out there that'll give you big plays and shit like that. Wait for their hot streak. Hopefully it continues, and have at it, man. God bless you. And I hope things go well for you. But I can't do that, dude. I can't do that. I can't lie to you. That's why I'm not doing videos for sports books, because I can't tell people to parlay. I don't need their money like that. I can't lie to you, dude. I don't want to do it. So it doesn't make me a good person. I sold picks too. I sold picks when I was a losing bettor. You think I was a winning bettor when I started with Scumbag over there pregame? I wasn't. I had access to winning information, but I didn't know how to manage risk correctly yet. And I didn't know, more importantly, how to share that information and make it valuable for others. That's another art in itself. It's hard enough to win for yourself, to win for others. Now, if you can do that, don't waste your money, dude. Stop wasting it. Bet your own shit or partner with a winner. There's partnerships out there I see on the internet. Be careful. A lot of sharp guys looking for outs. I look for outs all the time, and you could do betting partnerships, but partner with someone sharp. Stop partnering with squares. Stop partnering with losing bettors. That's what you're doing when you are buying a 10-0 handicapper without knowing whether they're up lifetime or at least even for this year. Like, again, maybe things turned around and lifetime he's down, but last 6 months he's up. And from now on, he's going to keep documenting. God bless you. We all get to that point. Like I said, I have losing results as well. There's nothing to hide there. But fortunately, that changed. And I hope for others it changes too. And when it does, I hope that they feel this as strongly as I do about it and actually change this industry and help those that can and want to. So yes, Ernesto, if you can add to your business and you could increase the capital of your business, absolutely, you see the returns. If you're making more money elsewhere, then don't take that capital and put it here. Like if you're seeing, you know what, oh, I could get a 4% on a CD at my bank, and with Ace I can't make 4% over the next 12 months, then dude, go get that CD. I want you to make money. But if you are confident that I'm going to give you a better return than that and going to repeat what I did over these last 6 months, then come with me, brother, and invest that freaking money and build your company. And 2-3 years from now, I hope it's a fucking $1 million company. I hope it's like the two dudes that I met at the Win for dinner that have a $500,000 bankroll now. I swear to God, I hope it is. And you're burying books and looking for outs. I really do. Let's see, should I eliminate the term percent when we're talking about, yeah, you know, the percent is just a rating. You're absolutely right, Kay. And I just don't want to butcher your name, Quidano. Forgive me if I butcher names, no excuse, but English actually is my second language, so there are some words I have trouble pronouncing. With that said, I would like to get rid of that, so we just focus on 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, 1%, 1.25. I don't want to change things and confuse people. So fortunately, we have those in the group, in the room that do understand, but I like your idea because it would be putting it out there for others, those that aren't even involved or working with me, to see like, wow, this guy only is urging people to bet 1% on his big plays, on his best bets, and 1.25 on his biggest, and he's making money. Maybe I should try that. And you're right. I think maybe that because of that, that may be a good idea to get others who, again, aren't even customers of mine or anything, even supporters of mine, may even not like me, but it may flash something and they'd be like, wow, this guy never bets more than 1.25 and he made that kind of money in a matter of years. Fuck, I'll give it a shot. I'm a winning bettor. Maybe my managing of risk is just what's been off, because that's what happened to me. I had the potential to win. I just didn't have money management, man. I wasn't educated. I didn't come from a family that taught me financially how to be knowledgeable. Like I had none of that. Everything I had to learn on the fly, by like even with the market. I had to learn by losing. I had to learn how to pay rent on time by getting evicted. I had to learn how to pay your bills on time by getting my electric shut. Dude, I ain't ashamed to say that shit. I'm comfortable now. I put in work. Some put in dirt. You gotta do what you gotta do, dude. I come from some tough places, different parts of the world. We all are different. That's why I say don't ever compare yourself to anyone else. Everyone's life is different. Compare yourself to yourself. Are you a better version of yourself today than 6 months ago, than a year ago, than 2 years ago, than 10 years ago? Have you evolved? Or are you the same person? Is your thesis the same, but your life hasn't changed? Like, you know what I mean? I had to change my thesis. I had to come to the conclusion that my thesis was wrong, that I'm not just going to get lucky, that I'm not due, that I'm not going to get a score, that thesis is off, that it actually is the grind and the hard work. And you know what? I'm going to put in the time anyway. Like days, years go by anyway. Why not do it right? So when those years pass, I have something to look like there's a result of it. The days are passing anyway. Why not do the right thing and get good results? It's like what you're investing in tomorrow by what you do today. Like, why not start today by doing the right shit? Why wait till tomorrow? I don't know, man. Thank God. Again, I started real late. I started late. And it's a perfect example that if I could do it, anyone can do it. Because I was 40 years old and my net worth was in my front pocket. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Net worth, front pocket at 40. That's just how it goes, man. And fortunately, eventually I talked myself into correcting instead of repeating, and everything changed overnight. Over fucking night, everything changed. Yes, sir, Sherlock. Betting 3 on a dog and to win 3 on a favorite. Profit. Good man. You are now in profit. I understand the bankroll management bet size perfect, but I don't feel confident finding my own bets. That's okay, James. That is okay. By not having the confidence to find your own bets shows me you're way ahead of the game. That you're only looking to place good bets. You're not trying to predict outcomes and play psychic. And this team's going to beat that team because they're better. No, I want you to say, you know what? This is a -7. The money line should be -250, but it's only 220. Oh, shit. It's off market. I got a good bet. That'll come in time, I promise you. Reverse engineer what I send out. Don't just bet the plays. The next day, if you have just dedicate an hour of your day, 30 minutes of your day, and say I'm going to spend 30 minutes a day focused on studying sports betting, actually doing it. I'm going to do it 5 days, 30 minutes. That's what, how many is that? 2.5 hours a week, 10 hours a fucking month. In a year, I've done 120 hours. In 2 years, I've got 220 fucking hours of more knowledge than I ever had. No one could take that away from you. No one could take that experience away from you. That's why I say, start reverse engineering. Start looking at the plays we're betting. You'll start to see numbers that we bet and what we stay away from. And what I forgot to mention last time, the best way for new sports bettors who aren't going to create algorithms and want to handicap and pick their own stuff, I urge you to learn to read markets. Be a technical trader. That is one of the best ways for anyone to do it. Anyone can do that. You don't have a math degree. You don't have to be a genius. You don't anything like that. Simply monitor the market. And what I mean by that is line moves. What did the line open at? How did it move between open and close? Where did it close? What was the result? Over and over and over again. Write those notes down. Start at the biggest books and monitor those lines. Who am I talking about? Pinnacle. They take the biggest bets at the lowest vig. So they're probably booking the sharpest shit. Let me use them as my guide. Chris, another book that books a lot of sharp shit. Just start there. Bet online for MMA. They originate a lot of stuff. You'll start to see who originates. It used to be Circa for MMA too, because the Kalikas was there and he's got an opinion. Now pay attention a little bit to the Superbooks MMA, because you know Murray and his group, they have an opinion in MMA. You'll start to learn things. You'll start to see, oh wait, even though FanDuel is an on-screen book, in the NFL, they tend to have an opinion of their own. They're off market a lot of times. Do they win when they're off market or do they lose? Because I know when Pinnacle's off market, they tend to win and the market's usually wrong. And remember the very first day what I taught you, that any squirrel can find a nut. And what I mean by that is anyone can find a plus EV bet by isolating arbitrage. If there's arbitrage, it's mathematically impossible to not have one of the sides be plus EV. And what is arbitrage? A middle, a scalp. If Pinnacle's at -3.5 and the market's at -4.5, you have a middle, -3.5 and +4.5. One of these is plus EV for sure. They're all far off enough that's just mathematically impossible not to be the case. That's just math. Now, do you think the market's right or do you think Penny's right? You'll start to figure out whose opinion is worth shit, whose opinion isn't worth shit. And slowly but surely, you'll form your own. And as you do, little things like this will help confirm your opinion, because you'll see, oh, wait, I'm on off market side with Pinnacle, or I'm off market with Bet Online here in MMA. And I know they book a lot of sharp shit early. So yeah, I think that's the plus EV side. I think everyone else is wrong. Just a simple little handicap like that can help you so much. But they're talking about matchups and X's and O's and blah, 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 this defense. Oh, they let up 4.2 yards per play. Okay, genius. What if they let up 4.3 yards per play? What changes? Hey, tell me. You're telling me they give up 4.2 yards per play, blah, blah, blah. That's why you're betting them. Okay, let me throw a wrench in there. What if they give up 4.5? What changes? Give me your handicap now. What's the implied win probability adjustment? Can you give me that? Go ahead. How fast can you give me what's the change in implied win probability? They can't. They're just regurgitating the stats that they just cherry picking stats that support their case. I'm talking about real live actionable info, stuff that's happening in the market that actually matters. Not bullshit X's and O's and trends of, oh, this team's 3-0 when fucking this guy jerked off with his left hand last night. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Again, sorry, it's just it's a busy day. And you know what? Ace hasn't even had a dinner, lunch, breakfast. I don't even know yet, honestly, if this is oatmeal or if it's yogurt. I have OCD, so I eat the same thing for the last 7-10 years, I think, for breakfast. And this was probably sitting there since 5 a.m. Haven't had a chance to get to it. It's been that busy. So bear with me a little bit. I may be a little bit out of it, all over the place, but always working. Now I'm looking to see anything new come in. Oh, the last thing was the Saskatchewan and Rough Riders over. And 48 is good. And I swear they could even grade it at 48. But I sent it out at 47.5 because there were multiple places with 47.5, and I knew there was some time before it went to 48 and 48.5. And I wanted to be able to today come and talk to you about how important it's going to be to get multiple outs if you're having trouble getting down on point spreads. Don't take bad numbers. You're better off passing and not placing the bet than taking a bad number and gambling, because you're no longer betting from a position of strength. You're betting from a position of weakness, and we never want to do that. We rather pass than that. Oh, my man, Crawford decision was plus 200. Good. Yeah, that's even better. Again, I try to be fair with the number. I swear to you, a lot of times, like I even know this is going to be sharp. It's a off market. It's like a smaller market. So I'm sure they're going to have to use on screen within the next 10 minutes after they hit off screen. So probably some of my guys won't be able to get this number. Let me give it out at a little worse. I do that a lot. I try to be as fair as possible. With that said, if even then you're not getting the number, you're going to have to try to find some more outs and have the discipline to pass. Have the discipline to pass. The other thing I wanted to say real quick, and I didn't want to forget, last Sunday, I sent out a NASCAR play that won, okay? You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You can't ask me to share all my information, even up to the last 10 minutes, and then bitch that you didn't get down on it. Because maybe you were on the phone, maybe you were driving, maybe you were banging your I don't know what you were doing, dude. Maybe you were eating, sleeping. For whatever reason, you couldn't get online. And the game started, the race started, or the line moved so much, the value's gone. Dude, let it go. Bitching the customer service, having me take 15 minutes to talk with Gianni and show them that what time I sent it out and where I placed my bet and how much time was left makes me resent sharing late shit. I'm just being honest. So you can't have, there's no way you can have it both ways. Like, have that common decency to realize, dude, I missed it. I'm not taking shots at you, dude. I'm not going to send something out like, oh, the race just started. Even if it was like 5 minutes before, 3 minutes before, or accidentally it got held up and did come out a minute after it started, 5 minutes after it started. What am I, taking a shot? Like I know who's going to win the race 5 minutes in? Think 3 steps ahead and say, dude, I'll use this live. Let me see if there's some live angle I could take advantage of, some in-game I could take advantage of. Not let me bitch the customer service. What are they going to do? They're going to give you the bet. They're going to book it for you. They're going to refund. Well, like, what are you hoping for? Just the bitch? Dude, please. We're not. I want to work with people that want to put that petty shit to the side and want to focus on what matters. And what matters is me getting you as much information as possible, because I know you won't be able to take advantage of all of it. But some of you will. And what you missed, someone else might have got in. And he was able to get a 10-to-1 winner because of it. Be happy for him, not pissed for yourself. Be happy that someone else cashed. And that, wow, ace hit in NASCAR. Maybe next week that same source will come through. Or we're doing it in NASCAR. Try to take the positive out of shit instead of always the negative. Please, please. I'm not telling you this because again, Johnny don't bitch at me. I love him, his family. But just, I was honest with him. I'm like, bro, I resent now sending that out and it won. I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to feel like that. Like I want to crush it for these guys. So please think a little ahead. Be like, what am I going to get from this? Again, I want criticism. I want to be accountable. I want to be responsible to you. I want to answer to you. But there are some questions there's obvious answers there. Like if I send out -4 and your book has 4.5, what do you want them to tell you? What do you do? If your risk tolerance is higher, bet it. If it's lower, pass. Another bet will be coming. Like that kind of stuff, we need to get past. You need to get past and focus on what's really going to make you your money. And that's betting correctly on as much of the plus EV info, whether it's a 2% play or a 5% play. Bet size correctly. Because I'll tell you, guys that have been avoiding, I'm just going to wait for the 4s and 5s. You know how much money we've made off 3% plays this year? You know how strong the 3% play is for me? You see what I'm betting? I'm betting 3. I don't lie. I bet the same amount. I bet between 1 dime. I bet 1 to 5 dimes. That's it. 1x to 5x. On a 3% play for me is 3 dimes. I'm not going to bet 3 dimes unless I feel strongly about it, dude. That's a lot of money. Maybe to some people it's not, but where I come from, that's a lot of money. So I take it very seriously. In fact, a 1% play for me is $1,000. There's people that work all week for $1,000. If I'm going to give out a 1% play, you better be damn sure that I see a trade for that 1,000, or else it's fine and sitting with me. I have no reason to get rid of it. It's doing me just fine sitting in my bank account. I don't need to get rid of it. I'm in no rush to lose it. So please understand, everything I send you is gold from 1 to 5. Don't sit back hoping for 5%. Hope for 3%. They'll have the least variance and the most grind. They're simple. 0.75. I'm not even betting 1%. You never sweat. Who cares? You could lose 5 in a row. It didn't hurt your bankroll much. Over the last 20, we're going to win that next 20. We'll come up 5 positions ahead. But if you're over betting that, you're not going to have those 20 positions. No chance of recovering that money. So again, yes, I'm going back to money management because that will always, always, always be the most important. So I went long on James's question, but about finding your own bets, start to think along those lines. Not as a fan, because I promise you, all that kind of handicapping of looking at yards per play and blah, blah, like that's baked into the cake. Unless you could come up with a metric that no one's really talking about, it's going to be baked into the cake. You have to accept that the guy who came out with the number, whose job is to manage risk, knows the quarterback's rating, knows his yards per pass, knows his completion percentage. Those aren't things that are going to give you any type of edge. That's why you don't hear me really ever talking about them unless I need fluff to waste bullshit time in some not interview. That's the only time I ever mention that shit, because it doesn't matter. But if I talk about the market and look at this book and see when they're open and people will be listening on the radio and be like, what the fuck is this idiot? What is he talking about? This guy's nuts. I want to learn about how to quarterback, how this and that. I want to know what he thinks about the defense and how he thinks about if they're going to blitz this Sunday and how they're going to do against the blitz. The fuck that matters. It matters. Like it matters. Really, that's discussion for sports radio. In my world where we lay 11 to win 10, no one talks like that, dude. Talking about what did it open at? What did it close at? Did you get CLV? That's the way we talk. I don't talk about that nonsense. All right, good, my man, good. They're getting plus 200 and better on Crawford decision. That's it. I love it. I love it. Okay, I'm looking at Kay's books. Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good. You're good where you are. You're set. You're really good. I like the books you have. I really do. You could even condense, like if you want to, if you don't need as many outs. Like I'm sure no, you know what? You have a good mixture. Yeah. If it's not a problem having your capital that spread out and having to re-up, and if that's not a headache and taking too much of your time, then yeah, absolutely do it like that. Those 6 books that you have to shop from, whew, and you'll see on Sundays, this isn't going to happen. We're going to take 5 minutes for me to go over the results, 5 minutes for us to do our calisthenics and our exercises, and then we're going to be live trading during NFL Sunday. So you guys you're going to have your 6 books up, you're going to have your screens ready to go, and we're going to be betting live. Like we will be firing. There will be live firing. That much I can promise you. Like the Crawford was one play. It'll be play after play after play, like a few an hour at times. So you'll know when to be logged in. That'll be the beauty. And you'll start to see on Saturdays when to log in. That's why you see with baseball, I try to release around the same times. So I make it easy on you guys also. And if you're not working, then, if I'm around my computer 2 hours before games start, I'm going to get the bulk of Ace's late stuff. That's when he knows. Like I'm waiting on it. For example, here's the actionable info that we're waiting on. There's 2 sides that we may be betting in baseball. 925 Oakland is in the chamber, and 920 under Tampa Houston in the chamber. Right now it's at 8.5. 9's a really key number, and I saw 9 pop up here and there. Also, the wind is, I believe, right now going out. It's weak, but I believe it's going out. So as we get closer, you get more information. That's why with my network, you see some things come early, but I like to sit back, gather it all, you see how selective we are, and give you guys the most plus EV spots that are still available, knowing I'm going to miss some because we didn't get down early, and that's okay. I get so many plays and I miss a ton of them. What matters to me is I place the best bets all the time. Like if I'm constantly placing good bets, I'm okay with that, knowing I'm not going to get them all in. So you're good there with your books. Let me get that actionable info real quick in baseball. The other 2 that are possible upgrades, we have a 3% play on 906 St. Louis and a 3% play on 930 San Diego. If I get additional 1 or a 2% confirmation, they will be upgraded to a 4% or even a 5% play if I get, 2 of the 5 checks still to come in. Those are 2 plays that still warrant a possible upgrade. The rest are good. They're in the premium side, so we're good to go. We have a lot of volume today. I didn't expect that. Again, I hope you're not overwhelmed with it, but I swear I was being as selective as possible. There was just a lot of good information, and it's been a slower last week, 10 days, where during the week we're not getting all that much. So we're looking for possible upgrades on St. Louis and San Diego. And in the chamber, we're looking at the under Tampa Houston. If it gets to 9, will probably step forward, and we're also awaiting possible bet on Oakland. Other sharp plays that I didn't bet, in case you have leans on, I could share stuff that I got down for other groups. I got over 9 in Philly, Pittsburgh, over 10 in the Cubs, St. Louis, under 9 in Detroit, Miami. What else? Over 9.5, Washington Mets, and that should be actually a Bobby Green bet. Yeah, for some that don't even bet MMA, that's why you see now that Bobby Green's up to -400. I didn't want to send out at minus. I like that side as well. We have enough capital in play in tonight's MMA, and I'm comfortable with our positions and the amount of capital we've allocated. I don't feel a need to lay a -360. I think I got him 350. There wasn't much out there still, but I think I found like a 350 and let him get in at 350. I have to eat some of it because most of it's 370s, 360s out there. But again, it's someone I work with that is a solid source. If he needs me to get him down, I'm gonna get him down, even if sometimes I have to eat some of the line. I don't have a problem with that. As long as he keeps coming to me first, I'll eat it. And that's what I did there. So if you like green as well, I know it's chalky, but at least you're on the side with a betting syndicate that is high on green. Because these guys, again, they don't bet MMA rarely, and they don't bet that kind of chalk very often. So there's something that a nugget of information that's probably not factored into the betting line that gives them confidence. Even at -400, it's a decent bet. I'm just not the best at most comfortable laying that kind of chalk, especially when I have a lot of capital out there, because that game will just that fight will matter so much more than some of the other ones. And that's not a position I need to be in, especially since we spread out our risk so nicely on tonight's card. I love how we're spread out. Win or lose, we have good bets, great numbers, and our risk is nicely spread out. That's why I didn't go no 5%, a couple 4s, but not on any chalk. A little on Poirier, but we did get the best of that number. There is some sharp money against me on the Poirier side. Just know that. There's some gagey, sharp money that I do respect. But this is one I stuck to my guns. I already got down early. I did consider possibly coming back with like a 2% play on Gagey, just to limit our risk. Or I even was considering Gagey inside the distance, or Gagey by knockout at plus money, better plus money, just to minimize some of the risk. Because again, I'm here to make money. I'm not here to be right. I don't care about being right. I care about making money. So if you see that, please don't panic. And it's up to you what you feel comfortable doing. And the reason I'm glad I brought that up is it's another note I had here. I need you to understand there will be buybacks. It happens. They aren't a lot, but they do happen. I think since I started this subscription, we'd have 1 or 2. But we had one just last week where I gave out Tampa Bay Rays at -174. And then Baltimore came in as conflicting information. Because the line had moved so significantly, I could have easily scalped it and took Baltimore at a plus money line where we would have just broke even, regardless of outcome. Okay? And that's a good place to be in. No action, no, who cares, regardless who wins. Even if you lose a little bit of vig, it's better than letting the dice roll. But instead, here's what happened. A group I was working with came in and bet the under 8. So the line goes to 7.5 with the under juiced. You know what that means? Added value to the run line. So I saw the opportunity to get Baltimore at plus 1.5 at vig that was only at like -110, 115. I know it was less than -125 for sure. So rather than go for the break even and walk away, I said, let's go for the middle, since they're expecting a low scoring game and we have Tampa on the money line. And now we have Baltimore plus 1.5. If it lands on 1, we hit both bets. If it splits, sure, we're going to lose more vig than we would have, but because of the sharp money under, because the market respected it, because the matchup sets up nicely for an under, it's worth taking the shot at the middle. And that's why we did that. It didn't work out. Baltimore won the game outright. So the better result would have been if I just went for the obvious scout and said, let's just walk away and break even. But instead, I tried to maneuver and put us in position to pick up 6 units, which, again, for me, it was worth the risk. But the reason I bring that up is because that will happen. And I would rather piss you off than not tell you. It's easier for me not to tell you. Like if I lay week 3 of NFL, I bet the Dallas Cowboys -8. They go to 10. All of a sudden, there's a shitload of information conflicting on the +10 side. And it gets steamed and it comes down back to +8. There are times that even not at 10, I'm not going to send, oh, now let's take the +10. I'll send out the buyback at +8 and say, you know what? We're going to have to eat the vig here. Regardless who wins or loses, we're going to lose the vig. So if you bet 330 and 330, you're going to lose $30 regardless what happens in this game. But I would rather you lose the 30 than roll the dice to try to win the 300. To me, that is gambling. And I would never urge you to do that if I'm not doing that. You could let it ride. But again, I would rather you get pissed at me than me eating the info and being like, I'm not on, I don't get it. My risk is eliminated. Hopefully it wins for my subscribers. It's not going to happen. It'll never happen. So again, I try to have it happen as little as possible, but it's out of my control. And when it does, I will be sending buybacks. Again, you see how rare they are. I think we've had 1 since we started this subscription. But just so you know, there is that possibility. There's no need to ask. I'll explain right in there. It's a buyback, paying big to get off game, or paying big to middle game. That's all you're going to see. And then it's on you whether you want to get off the game as well, or whether you already like the position and want to let it ride. What sports books would I recommend? I don't know if it's okay to me to recommend sports books. Here's what here's what I will say. You look at the Wager Talk odds screen, okay? All solid and on screen. But then I would also urge you, if possible, to find off-screen books. Most of you that aren't here in Las Vegas know what that means. It's bookmakers, guys that give you an account, and it's not Bet Online or a bookmaker, or it's more like abc.com or uwin.com or whatever it is .com or .ag or .ua or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. If you have access to a credit account like that, have at it. But have the discipline. I don't urge anyone to have credit accounts that doesn't have discipline. That's how you get yourself in trouble. That's how you lose more than you should. If you don't have the discipline, always be a post-up guy. Be honest with yourself so you don't dig a hole. Most holes could have been covered up a long time before they got dug deeper and deeper and deeper. But if you have credit, that door is wide open to dig deeper, deeper, deeper. That's why I got in so many holes myself, betting money that I didn't have, incorrectly chasing so many times where I would have just lost this amount. Instead, I lost 5x, 10x because I had the credit to make bad bets. So that's what I did as a losing bettor. I made more bad bets and just lost more money. So if you're not there yet, avoid them. Just post it a couple books, that, like I showed you, solid, reputable, aren't going to screw you when you lose, probably going to cut you off as you win, or if you're beating them to numbers. But that's the cat and mouse game that we play. There's VPNs, there's family members. You know the game, man. It's not hard to open accounts. But with that said, if you have, like I do, 90% of my action is credit. 95 is credit now. I do credit. And I treat my agents like gold, give them a percentage, because that allows me to put my capital in other things where I could trade equities, I could invest here, I could invest there, because I'm able to bet off credit. Thank God, like I value my credit outs so much because of that. It lets me allocate capital elsewhere and get further ahead than I ever would have if I had to stuff all these books with all my capital. So that's why I say those guys that have access to that, I definitely would look into. Okay, it's send out his bets. If I get any DFS stuff, I'll definitely share it. Again, I just don't. I mean, I'll have player props for sure. I just don't understand like daily fantasy and putting teams together. It's just not my thing. I got into a league like for 1 year with Gianni's league, and they had to call me most times to put in my lineup. Like I didn't even remember. It's just fantasy just was never my thing. Only because I was trying to beat 11-10, and I knew that was just a whole different animal, and I wasn't going to take on a whole different animal, and I haven't even beaten this one yet. That's the only reason. I'm not knocking it at all. And in fact, having learned that 20% of DFS players are profitable compared to 1% of sports bettors, I probably would have went into DFS and had money faster than with sports betting, where the edge is so small, and with blackjack, where again, so few are profitable. But yeah, I see props in the back end. So, and the same thing's going to happen if we do Saturdays in college football, because the lines move too fast. But these are gold. I will be sharing those. I don't even know what it's called anymore. The FSB or whatever the hell, the lower division. I get a ton of shit on that stuff. I bet it when I can, but it's very hard for me to share because those lines move so much. And what I mean is we lay -7 and it goes to -14. We go over 38 and it goes to over 45. Like, you've got to be able to get down right away. Because the only one betting them are sharp bettors. Like, recreational bettors aren't looking at FBS games when Clemson's playing freaking Ohio State. Who gives a shit about Kennesaw State? You know what I mean? We do. And dude, they just come up on my screen. I'll be reading them all. So if you're plugged in to a book where you have access, dude, take advantage. Like, I get AAA baseball. I don't know if you remember last year, I was getting like 7-8 weeks of AAA baseball where it was just free money. These dudes just crushed it and then just disappeared. And this year haven't returned. If they do, I'm going to do it again and share as much as I can. But it'll be the same with props. Because the lines move, because lines differ from book to book, and because props differ from book to book, I don't release them as premiums unless on the rare occasion it's a Monday night game, it's a primetime game, it's a marquee player, it's a prop, readily available prop like yards or touchdowns, not obscure prop. I do that on occasion, but I get a ton and I bet a ton and move a ton. So yeah, if you're in this room, you're going to be getting all of that. I'm telling you, all that stuff will be coming. I promise you. In a month from now, when we do a free Sunday or Saturday in this room, you're going to see some shit. You're going to be getting some information and seeing a ton of information coming through. Like I'm, checking now for stuff as we're standing here. Looky. That's what we're doing. So believe me when I tell you, Hold on, did I see something? Give me 1 sec. No, not yet. I thought the upgrade came in on, all right, Banks, chill. Chill. All right, let me see if we're upgrading there. Nothing yet. All right, got to keep my eye on the prize. Didn't know if we're upgrading St. Louis and San Diego. Yeah, eye on the prize. And real quick, let me look at that Oakland, see, are we pulling yet? Anything yet? Oh, no. We're probably going to pass on. We're probably going to end up passing on Oakland and Tampa, Houston under. Yeah. See where that line went now. Probably going to end up passing on that. Yeah, we're probably going to be set with baseball. Again, what do we got? 4 plays: Kansas City, St. Louis, Seattle, San Diego, with 2 possible upgrades. I like it. And again, we got a ton of MMA. Yeah, again, all I can tell you for the guys that are asking for packages, they're doing everything they can to get you locked in at the cheapest price, because that's what I've been urging them. Said, dude, if anyone willing to commit to me, hook them up. Like, even if they just jump in for a week, get them in, and then afterwards, if they want to extend, hook them up once they see what we're doing. Like, these are guys I'll be working with for a long time. They're going to make money and they're going to be happy. Like, it's a win-win for all. So take advantage of that. I'm telling you, that's the quickest way to increase your ROI. Why even call it a 3, 4, 5% play? Because it's not my platform, my man. I follow the rules. That's how the ratings are set up. That's how I release them. It's uniform across the platform for everyone. So I'm not going to change it, because then that's confusing. I can't have a different play than I'm going to make mine 3% mean this and Marco's 3% means that. It's confusing. So I send them out the same way, but I educate how I do it. And I do it every chance I get. And I've tweeted it. I've made dozens of videos. Every segment I've done, I share that I do not bet those percentages. That if you bet 5% on your plays, you will go broke. That if you're a 5% sports bettor, you're not going to make money. It's not going to happen unless you retire. Like, you do it for a month and say, I'm not betting no more. Yeah, you can go on a run and cash in betting 5% plays, sure. But you ain't going to do it for a year betting 5%. That's not happening, dude. I don't care if you're betting one game a day. It's not happening. Save your money. I tried it. I lost it for both of us. So yeah, I already tried. So you don't have to. I promise you. Yes, Corey. There's nothing more important. That is the most important factor to consider. You will only lose money if you make mistakes. You will not lose money if you don't. If you place bad bets, if you overbet your bankroll, if you revenge bet, you're going to lose money. Those are your mistakes, not mine. If I send out a play where the line's available, but your book isn't, and you take a bad number anyway, and it costs you, again, that's your mistake. So I've been honest with myself. I told you, since I've learned to win, I've lost money. Every time I have, it's because I fucked up. It just happened. I showed you guys 2 weeks ago on a stock. All my technicals, all my signals told me to stop out when I was down 1,500 on this trade. Instead, I used hope as my hedge, that the market was going to turn anyway, and that the price was going to come down, and that I was going to be fine. So let me dollar cost average and bring the price down, and I did everything wrong. And instead of losing 1,500, I lost almost 12 dimes, I think. And that hurt a lot. It took a big chunk of what I had made over these last 6 months trading. That's a lot of money to overcome in one mistake, but I had to eat it. And to be honest with you, it's the second time it happened in the last 3 years since I've learned to be a technical trader and a profitable one. 2 years maybe, yeah, maybe not even that long. But anyway, only when I've not stopped out of a trade when I've taken a trade without at least 2 factors or more. Because again, if I have 1 factor, it's 50-50. If I have 2 factors, it's 60-40. If I have 3 factors, it's probably 70-30. If I have 4 or more factors, I'm at the 80+% as far as winning trades go. But it's what's my risk tolerance. So Corey could not have put it better. Managing risk and managing emotions is so important in sports and stocks. Nothing more important than that. And I've made so many mistakes. I did it with crypto. I did it with equities. I did it with sports. I did it with blackjack. All that was education. And fortunately, I'm at a maturity level and a discipline level where I now correct instead of repeat. And it's okay. I get tested every day with those same demons to bet a little more on this one. You don't think I want to fire 5% play today? You don't think I want to talk myself into upgrading this one? I even have not only will I bet more, but then I'll sell fucking 10x more today. I will sell 10x if I just say 5% play. So I got to tweet out. I don't want to do that's going against everything we stand for, man. That's going against every principle that I fucking believe in and share. You gotta have a code, man. Gotta have a code. It's a joke, it's funny, but it's true. A man's gotta have a code, and you gotta stand by it. So please, 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 use that discipline. Employ that discipline. Without CL, can you be a long-term winner without CLV? Worst of a year. It's very, as far as you can be a long-term winner without CLV in particular markets. Like there's some markets that there's not going to be much movement, but you're not beating NFL without CLV. Like you're not beating NBA without closing line value. Like if you're not getting a better number than the closing number where all the information is factored into the price, you're not beating it long term. You're just not. Where with sports, other smaller markets where all the info isn't factored into the price, you may not get as much CLV. But if you're betting major sports, you need some. Again, I don't get it all the time. I don't get it on every bet. And the fact that I'm willing to piggyback steam and take the second number, even the third number sometimes, and I think I've proven through my results that I'm a very good judge of when a steam play still offers value to bet. I'm okay with that. I don't need, like this Crawford plus 180. I don't need it to close plus 150 to be confident I placed a decent bet. If it does close plus 150, I'll be confirmed that I did. And then regardless of outcome, it won't matter to me. I know I did my job. But if I don't get CLV, I'm comfortable with it, and I won't think it's a product of good luck. I know it's such a high profile type of fight. So yeah, that's as far as CLV, that's where there's a nuance to it. And I know there's an argument, the markets evolve, and do you need it today? And this is the one thing that never changes. If you're able to get closing line value, you're a mathematical certainty to turn a profit long term if you manage risk correctly. That's a fact. That's a fact. So if you do that, you are guaranteed to be a winner. That is what CLV is all about. That's why I aim for it. But I do understand there's a nuance to it. And I also understand there's times I'm getting the best of it without CLV as well. How can I forecast for expected profit over the course of a year? Impossible. I mean, you could gauge amount of bets and bet size and edge, kind of like with blackjack. I know I average what my bet size is. I know I'll see about, if I'm playing one-on-one with a dealer, between 150 and 200 hands times my edge, and that's what I expect to make per hour. But I know there's going to be fluctuations. There's going to be standard deviations where I'm up a lot more than I actually should be, or for a little bit of time, or down a little more than I should be. So I try to stay away from that forecasting, because it's fool's errand. Like it's hard to forecast your results without knowing. Like you could project your edge, but in sports it changes. But I figure as you could see, we got about 5% ROI. You see the amount of bets we place, 2,000 plus per year. You know your own bet size. Multiply the bet size times the edge times the amount of bets, and you'll have your answer of what you can expect. That's pretty much it. It's not a difficult projection to make. It's just how accurate is it? That's the only question. That's why I don't put any stock in it. Like I'm taking every day. I'm just grinding, man. I know what my bank bet size is already. I'm not changing it till the end of the year. Nothing's going to change that. So what's going to happen? We're going to know when December 31st rolls around. I forecast I'm going to win every year. That's my goal. How much? I'll let the market decide what it's going to give me. And thank God it's been good so far. She's decent to me. Is it simply projected edge time dollars? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, sir. And it was a huge win. Good for you. Good for you with the Hamlin. Yeah, again, that they're going to change. I try to be fair with the price. They differ from book to book, especially with props. I promise you, man, no one's taking a shot at you at all. It doesn't benefit me to send out Eagles -7 if it's 7.5 across the screen and it lands on 7 and I count it as a push and you guys all lose. How does that benefit me? Like, to brag about that? I try to be as fair as possible, I promise you, because I would rather be the other way, where I give out -7.5, you guys get 7, and I actually have to grade it a loser and you push. Or better, you got 6.5 and 1. I'm okay with that. I sleep fine. You guys making more money than me. I'm so good with that. I promise you, I'm so good with that. So yeah, no one's ever going to take a shot at you with the betting line. All right, thank you. Yeah, it evens out. Kyle could not have said it perfectly. It all evens out in the end. It really does. Just like if you miss plays, those will even out as far as winning and losses go. Bad beats, lucky wins, those even out long term. Unless you're only going to bet for the next month, then the short term matters. Otherwise, you just got to take it. It sucks when it happens, but you got to remind yourself, I was on the other side of that as well. Like, I hate when I lose a split decision, but I know I've bet so much MMA in my life. I've won some split decisions I probably shouldn't have. In fact, I know I've won some that I shouldn't have. It's just part of the game. That's the stuff, again, the petty little stuff that you can't focus on. Those are the little things that will not matter. We're going to bet 2,000 bets, 2,000 plays. That's going to result in whether we produce or not. 5 here, 1 there, 2 a month. That isn't going to make a difference unless, again, you're just betting for that week. You just need to win that day. Then, yeah, that's going to matter for you for sure. Jesus, look at that. My 3% plays have a 9% ROI. I've given out almost over 1,200 of them. Yeah, dude. Again, I told you, if I'm betting 3 dimes on a play, I like it a lot. Like, I'm not sending it out because, oh, it's a lean. Like, not even a dime is a lean. A lean, I'll tweet you. Try to keep that in the back of your head. A 3% play, I got 3 dimes on. I'm not throwing 3 dimes out there just to throw out there a play. Again, I like my money where it is. The only time I want to put it out there is if there's a chance to get more. No, if I didn't bet sports, I wouldn't be in the sports. Now, at this point in my life where I am, no, I wouldn't follow. I mean, I'd watch the Super Bowl. I'd probably watch NFL on Sundays if I was off. I'd watch MMA because I enjoy it. Like I told you, I watch UFC every week. I can't say MMA because I don't watch all the promotions. I watch UFC every week, but I don't watch it as I watch it as a fan. I'm eating, I'm talking, I'm checking my phone, I'm not taking notes. I'm not monitoring lines. I'm not trying to learn anything. I'm not egotistical enough to think I'm going to see something that's going to give me plus EV next time. Like, I don't know enough. I don't have that ego. Like, again, Daniel Cormier may see something that he could take advantage of in the next fight. Just like Troy Aikman may see something in an offense. I'm not that egotistical to think I'm going to see something in an offense that's going to give me plus EV next week. I'm not that like foolish to think I have that ability. Instead, I trust math and the numbers. And again, to me, they don't lie. They ultimately tell the truth. Sometimes we look better than the numbers. Sometimes we look worse than the numbers, but eventually we all regress to the mean. Everything regresses to its average in enough time. If you're a winning bettor, in enough time, you will win. Just like if you're a losing bettor, no matter what your record is today in this month and this week, you will end up negative. That's just how the math plays out, man. So no, I wouldn't. At this point in my life, there's so many things that I interest me more than sports. Yeah, like when I watched so much sports and I was so into sports. I thought I was going to play professional sports. I mean, that's how delusional I was as a child. Most of us were throwing in the ball in the backyard and thinking we're going to be a quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But again, I love sports, and that got me to betting sports. And I have nothing negative to say, but I wouldn't be like I don't watch ESPN ever. I haven't watched a Sports Center in over a decade. I think I haven't watched a single baseball game this year, and you see how many we bet. I will during playoffs. I like the playoffs. But again, yeah, to answer your question, nah, if I wasn't betting it, I wouldn't be in the sports. Yeah. Which market making books do I look for prices on major games? I like to look at Pinnacle a lot because they're not as influenced by public money, and marquee games usually attract the most public money. And a more square book, again, I don't want to call out these books, that doesn't allow a guy like me to bet there, but allows guy with negative lifetime earnings, they're going to adjust their line so he gets the worst of it, knowing that I can't take advantage of it. So they're going to adjust, shade towards those biases, where Pinnacle won't shade towards those biases because I'll take advantage of it. If the total should be 49, they won't go to 50 unless someone that wins tells them that 49 is wrong. Where a square book, they'll go to 50, so the next 10 guys that bet don't get 49. They already know 9 of them are going to bet over anyway. So why give them 49? Have them bet 50. No one that knows it should be 49 is going to come in and take advantage of it because we don't let them. So that's why for marquee stuff, I'm strictly looking at the sharper books. A Bet Online, a Pinnacle, a Chris. Those are books that don't kick guys like me out. Don't kick winning bettors out. They'll limit us, but they don't kick us out. And that's respect. They know how to manage risk. That's what that tells me. That they know how to manage risk. Okay. Let me look. What else do I have? Multiple outs. We got the multiple outs. We got the 3% plays. I'm telling you, when things come to my mind that I think is matters to you guys, I write them down throughout the week. Yeah, and the last thing, again, as far as missing stuff, I can't stress it enough. I want to share as much info as possible in some of those smaller markets, because those of you that could take advantage, those have huge edges, whether it's tennis, whether it's soccer. So please, 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 if you don't have it, you just pass and you try to acquire a book that may have it. Just don't slow it down for the production. And I promise you, I'll send as little of that stuff as possible. Like, I'm not going to send shit you can't use. things coming in possibly. Oh, wow. More. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah, Crawford's the side, supposedly, man. There's another guy asking me to get him Crawford. Anything, he'll take shit. All right. Hold on 1 second. Let's do it. Let's go. One bet on Crawford for them. Let's do it. Let's do it. You guys see if you guys give me good luck. Let's go screen. Huh? No, hold on. Let's go, baby. I need to give him some action here. Give me a good number, though. 170. See what the markets give. That's not a good number, man. I don't think that's a good number. No, man, I could get 155. Is this guy crazy? Lost your damn mind. Let's see what these guys are doing for me. Sorry. Really? $160. That's more like it. Let's see, 160. Okay, 160 is where we're going to get them in. Okay. Max risk 8. 2000. We also have, what's it called? Right? Okay. We have, let me see what he's got on, on that prop, right? Let's see that prop real fast. Let's see the Crawford decision prop. That if he didn't move it yet. Winning 12-round decision. Plus 160. All right, it's coming down. It's come down good. We got in at a really good number. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. You guys got 200. You got a great bet. Look, you got 200 on him to win by decision. It's now plus 160. Yes, great bet. Job is done. Hopefully he goes out and does his. That's going to be happening on Saturdays and Sundays. I don't even, damn, here I am trying to commit myself to both days for you guys. We'll see. Definitely one of the days. I'm going to be giving you live stuff. We're going to place the bets 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes later. You're going to be like, wow, I got a better number than where it is right now, because it's going to be coming in like that. Like how I got Crawford from that dude. It was like, dude, get me 180. And you guys right away, because they're hitting it off screen at the same time, it's not moving. So if you guys got 200s, 210s, 205s, 190s, you could get it. And they're not going to move to look like now when I go to look. Because once these groups run out of on screen, then they move off once they run out of off screen out, then they go on screen. Or word spreads and some don't follow the rules and go ahead and bet at the wrong places. Did I ever tell you the time when I first started moving? I was working out of a house in Delaware County back near Philadelphia, and they used to get horse info, okay? And with horses, the bookie gives you a line, and then there's the track odds. Track odds are so different than the book odds. They change a lot, okay? So when betting syndicates get horse information, it has to go off screen. They don't want the bet touched at the track, because at the track it's pari-mutuel. So no matter where you bet it, that money goes into a pool and the odds change everywhere. So even if I'm at this OTB and it's a smaller race and I bet 5,000 on a 5-to-1, dude, he's going down to even money or favorite if it's not a big pari-mutuel. So anyway, they're getting horses and they're winning. We're getting down, and back then, yeah, I'm betting 200 to win, 200 to place, 500 to win, 500 to place. but they're getting these horses that are coming in at 5 to 1, 8 to 1, 12 to 1. What happens? I get cut off, of course. Book doesn't want it anymore. None of the books want any horse stuff. I was spreading it out, of course. What happened Saturday morning? Horse play comes in. Shit, I don't have a way to get down. What does a young ace do? No one's going to notice. During lunch, I said, I'm going to run and grab some sandwiches for everybody. Ace stops off at OTB on 69th and Market Street at Off Track Betting. And I just unloaded my pocket on that horse, not thinking the stuff I know now, the pari-mutuel and all that. Like, I didn't know, I was new. And that's why I say, no one can take your experience away from you and your knowledge away from you. Once you get it, it's yours to keep. And I did it, dude. I go back with the food. Everyone's just staring, like turning, like, oh, looking at the door, waiting for me to walk in the door. Like, they already knew what had happened. There wasn't even a question of what had happened. Like, I leave within 15 minutes, the line adjusts everywhere, and then I come back with food. And rest assured, they were not as nice about sharing horse picks with me anymore. In fact, I think I got shut off from the horse information for a while as punishment. So you learn. I was a young runner back then. I just wanted to get down. I was a young mover. And for me, it's just about getting down. Okay. Hey, VR, if you have a different strategy personally, if an account allows open spots for football teasers, yeah, I would take advantage. Yes, absolutely. I would bet all plus EV teasers with managing my risk. I wouldn't like unload because again, when you have a situation like that, I compare it to when a place like Delaware Park, before, now there's sports books everywhere. When sports betting first started becoming legal out of Nevada, like they opened in Delaware Park. And Delaware Park put out parlay cards like they did here in Las Vegas, with the only difference being they left them out the entire week. So they bring out the parlay cards on Monday or Tuesday, and that you could use them till the Sunday NFL or Saturday college football. Out here in Vegas, they put them out the same day as well. The only difference is when a line moves significantly, they just take it off the card. Even if you circle the square, if you go to give your ticket, they'll tell you it's void. Like you can't use that game. They just plug it in the computer. That game no longer exists for parlay betting, for parlay card betting. They didn't do that at Delaware Park. Delaware Park was under the impression that everyone lost, that 99% of bettors lose. Parlays are negative EV. We're not giving true odds on them. What chance do we have of getting beat on parlays? Well, unbeknownst to them, multiple betting syndicates got bankrolls together and went to Delaware Park every Saturday and Sunday and tied up 3-team parlay combinations with those lines that were off. Some weeks you didn't cash anything. Like it didn't matter that you got the best of it. It's almost like I tell you, you could place great bets and lose, just like you could place bad bets and win. I'll keep bringing it back to the example. Someone just hit a roulette number right now, got paid 35 to 1, is so happy. Their $10 bet got 350. They're like, what a great bet. It was a terrible bet. There's 38 spaces on that wheel. If they didn't get 38 to 1, they placed a terrible bet and got lucky. Well, that happens even with good bets. So there were weeks where you don't cash anything. None of the 3 combinations come in. But as long as you're well funded, there will be that week and those weeks where it does cash and you're now getting 6 to 1 each time. So as long as you're properly funded, you could take advantage of situations where you're blindly betting plus EV, like I do with one teasers. If I have a book that's giving me 105, 110, 115, even 120 in some instances on teasers, I tease numbers. I don't tease the game. For me, it's the number. It's a plus EV bet. That's all I care about. But I only caution you, Hector, no going in that there'll be weeks that even though you're placing great bets, you're going to lose money to this bookie. And even though you place plus EV teasers, you're going to lose money to this bookie. That's why manage your risk correctly, bet 1% per teaser, and you're good. Just don't change that. Stay 1% per teaser, and you'll survive long enough to when that week comes where the games land close, dude, you're going to hit every freaking teaser. And that's going to happen a lot. But you're going to have to overcome the weeks where the games land 20 points off of the number and the teaser doesn't help anybody, because that will happen. So be careful there. Also curious if you see any sharps heavy on UFC props, or is that considered a more rec market? No, there's some sharps that bet props. The only issue is like you said, that the limits are smaller and the amount of work you have to put in to come up with a good bet, and then find out you can't bet much on it. That's why a lot don't put in the work. But here, I'm going to tell you right now, what I have one I know for sure was, yeah, and it was actually the dude that gave me Bobby Green. He also wanted Bobby Green to win by knockout and TKO and KO. And I think I got him plus 140 there, 130. I know it wasn't 150. He was asking me to get him 150. I said, there's no 150s out there. But I got him Green to win KO, TKO also on that Green bet. Otherwise, I haven't seen or heard anything as far as props, and except for the totals. Obviously, the under in Cachoeira Maverick, and that one's really sharp. That under, it's stronger than the Salvador Vergara under. And then also keep on the radar, because this may come out. We may be betting this heading into the main event. I hate having you guys have to get a late play, but there are some things we're waiting on, and it's the Poirier and Gaethje fight under. That fight under. For those of you that do disagree and like the Gaethje side, or want to hedge it because there are sharps on both sides, I think I urge you to take Gaethje inside the distance, or KO TKO. Like, I would look at that hedge more than Gaethje at plus. I think that's a decent prop, because I just looking at the analytics, I was looking at them today, and just the path to victory and all the math just adds up. If it goes to a decision, Dustin wins this fight. So I think if you're betting the Gaethje side, you got to look to the inside the distance, or TKO KO prop. Let me see. How did he factor it into your position? Oh, this isn't the first time. Elevation's an issue in all types of different cities. So I think, again, just like with the wind in baseball, I always consider it. And those fight, like I had to consider it for Kiesa Holland, perfect example, where we know Holland cardio, he's a dog. You know, in the third round, he's still there because his output is more measured. Kiesa, that's not the case. We've seen as it's gone late, he tends to fade. His best stuff comes early. And now in elevation, that could even be a bigger factor. That's why he's not a 5% play. Exactly why. Or he would have been a 5% play, Michael Chiesa, because everything else kind of set up nicely, even with the reach advantage and the edge trend on the other side. There was still a lot to like on the Chiesa as a dog, because he really should be, again, a slight favorite, but a good price. That one for sure. Yeah, that's the only thing that the only thing you have to also realize is when it's a place like Utah and every media member's talking about it, it's baked into the cake. I like to take advantage of that information when it's in cities that are in high altitude, but no one's really talking about it. But it happens to be like a Brazilian or a city in Mexico or somewhere where they're fighting, and you know it's high altitude, and that's really not the talk going in. When it becomes the talk going in, that's when I start to realize it's baked into the cake. It's like when I get information that's inside information, I look at the betting line. I know I'm not the first person to get it. Like I look, is it reflected in the market? If it's not reflected in the market, I don't believe it, because I'm not I'm not getting it first, dude. I know that. Like there's someone above me getting the information. And if that trinket that I get, I look at the betting line at the particular book that it should have moved, and it doesn't move, then I don't trust the information at all. That's kind of how I factor things like that in. So that's how I put it into my handicap, keeping in the back of my head that guys that are cardio machines are probably going to have an advantage, especially if they're in a matchup against guys who are deficient at cardio. Otherwise, I don't think you could take advantage of, because I think, again, it's just a topic that's been talked about so much this week that I just think it's baked into the cake. Yeah. We said Kansas City, just like last night. Just like last night, we had Kansas City. Small bet, small bet. Thank you, Yasu, brother. Tell your grandma, I hope if she's still with us, God bless her. Yasu, tell her straight from the old country. Nazisi, tell her, Nazisi. May she live on forever, baby. God bless your grandma. Let me see. You're very welcome, Kyle. It's my pleasure, man. Again, it's my pleasure. And we're going to try to open this up, even during football, just because I know not everyone has a bankroll yet. But that still doesn't mean you shouldn't learn the right way and set the proper foundation so that as your life changes and maybe you acquire a bankroll, maybe you do something else you don't even want to bet, but maybe you do, that you have a proper foundation set up. I love sharing that and passing that on with new bettors, because I know that, again, there's so few that win, but there's so much gambling content out there. And unfortunately, it just comes from losing bettors. And it's like, if you haven't won yet, you're in no position to try to teach other people how to win, man. Like, I just feel so bad when you see people putting on like they're educating anyone, when it's like, first you gotta educate yourself a little bit. But it's my pleasure, Kyle, and that's why I'm here for. And I said, these chats, they're not a show. It's not a podcast. This is where I come in and I'm accountable to you. I will have some topics that I want to get to that I think matter in our long-term success. I will make sure I iron out how important our money management is and lay that out every week. And I will go over my results every week. And then after that, it's just me sharing what actionable info I have and answering your questions. I can't answer if you don't ask. There's no stupid question. There's never a stupid question. Could I run through the 11 fights real quick? Yeah, I'll do that for you, man. You know what? Oh shit, I've been on 2 hours already. You know what? I'll give you another 15 minutes. Let me go through it real quick. I'll give you a lean on every fight I have. How's that? What I like on everything. I'll start from the top. Poirier, Gaethje. I like Poirier, and I like the under 2.5. Blachowicz, Pereira. I like Blachowicz. Even with Pereira going the favorite, that doesn't scare me. I think it's Blachowicz or pass. Bobby Green, Tony Ferguson. I like Bobby Green, and I like Bobby Green to get it done inside the distance. I like Michael Chiesa as well. I think Chiesa gets it done inside the distance. If he's able to avoid a submission, I think he gets Hollins back and gets the sub. The key is going to be not letting those long limbs of Holland wrap around them for some bullshit choke or, arm bar or something like that. DeLima Lewis, I like the DeLima side. I know 2-1 with heavyweights against a puncher like Lewis is scary, but we've seen the trajectory of his career. It's on the down, and even with that puncher's chance, he just hasn't been letting them go of late. Would not be surprised if we get retirement soon from the Derek Lewis side. He's made a lot of money. He's done well. He's not going to be fighting for a title anytime soon. Where with De Lima, he's still, dude, a couple wins, and he's a contender at heavyweight for sure. So I think there's that added factor. As long as he's able to avoid a big shot, it's his fight to win. I think De Lima inside the distance at less than 150 makes a lot of sense as well. Bonfim Giles. Bonfim should win this fight. It's set up matchup wise, not set up. The X's and O's analytically, Bonfim has advantages, and it's a fight he should win. The table's set for him to win this fight against a name and an experienced fighter, more importantly, someone that's put in rounds, and hopefully gives him some rounds, even though it got steamed under. I don't think there's any value on the favorite. Even though the lines moved in his direction, the market respects the Bonfim side. For me, it's Giles or pass. Obviously, I passed. Hiberio Kopylov, I like the Hiberio side. These are two guys with weak strength of schedules and similar analytics. I just think there's even a couple advantages on the Hiberio side. The difference is recency bias. Kopylov's coming in off of 2 wins. And there's always going to be that recency bias with a small sample size sport like MMA, where they don't have 50 fight careers. And that's why, you know, I weigh a lot of that type of bias. I will tell you that there is sharp money on the Kopylov side. That's why that line's come back up, and he's now minus 215 over offshore at some of the sharper books, 210 at Bet Online. So there is definitely resistance on my opinion on Hiberio. Again, I just think this is recency bias, and this is a spot where we haven't had Hiberio be the underdog. So having been favored throughout his UFC fights shows just how the market believed in his potential, even though he's underperformed in that role. Next up, Salvador and Vergara. Again, Vergara coming off that performance bonus. Usually those guys are going to come in with a little premium attached. Doesn't mean guaranteed premium attached, but usually is the case. And against Salvador, who doesn't have a resume, that's what we got here. That's why I'm on the dog. Impressive how Vergara got it done last time, but I just think this is a coin flip fight, and I think Salvador's live for sure. Also bet the under here. Flyweights, it's about a coin flip, 48% inside the distance over the last 10 years. And I do think the X's and O's set up where we're getting some decent value. And the fact the under has some chalk on a flyweight bout tells you the market doesn't really disagree, even though the line has moved the other way as far as vig goes. Semlisberger Medic. I wish I would have got on Semlisberger at minus 150. It would have been a 4% play, but at minus 200, there's minus 195s at circa, which worries me a little bit, to be honest with you. I would have liked them to remain at 2 or even higher. I like the Semlisberger side for sure in that spot. I even laid the minus 200. Again, I just wish I would have got down sooner. He's the total package dude, and he should be able to get past Medic, who again, dangerous early on, but this fight goes on, I think it's Semlisberger's to take over and systematically break them down. Maverick Cachoeira. Maverick, the line moved in Cachoeira's side from the opener because it opened so ridiculously at minus 500. But that was just taking advantage of a bad number. That's a numbers move, not what I consider true steam. Since then, we did see some take back on Maverick. I personally know some sharp money did come out on Maverick. I didn't touch it at all. It's short notice, not short notice. It's a quick turnaround. She just fought in June, but let's not forget she was injured in that fight. That's kind of like, not the excuse, but some of the reasoning behind the loss. It's a quick turnaround. Supposedly, she's back to 100%, and this is a very winnable fight for her, but I'm not going to lay 260 to find out. I do like the under, though, and a little juicy now, seeing 130s, 135s. But one thing about women's flyweight, there's usually a bias in all women's fight towards the over, which I get it. But with that said, since the inception of the weight class, 48.8% of the time, if I'm not mistaken, have finished inside the distance. So it's a coin flip. And again, another one where the X's and O's, I think, set up nicely for an under. In boxing, you know what we got. We got Terrence Crawford to win by decision. If I may actually put a 2% play on Crawford at minus, 150 or better. If let me see, is it out there? Oh, 150. Oh no, there's 145s out there. Bet online. Okay, yeah, I may actually add 2% on Crawford. We got time. We got time. See how the day plays out. Let's see if it gets any stronger. But the fact they're hitting it in two different ways, and how the market moved shows me just how strong of a position it is. And honestly, blindly not knowing anything, like if I didn't look at the line move, how the market's reacting, didn't factor in, I would think Spence is a dog, looks like the side. But it just goes to tell you, once you dig a little deeper, things change. Okay, still has 135 right now. Oh wow, there's 135s. He's telling me where I could get him down 135. I love this guy so much. He wants more on Crawford. Okay, so I'm gonna have to get him down at 135 now. Let me look real quick. I'm gonna have to get that when we get off, guys. Let me look if there's any more questions, if I have any more actionable stuff. I gave you all the baseball, right? I even gave you the other baseball steam plays. How can you sports better gauge betting limits when they aren't posted and you have enough bankroll to bet size correctly to the limit potentially? I'm not sure I don't understand the question. Here they're posted. Like, I mean, every book has the limits posted, and even my off-screen ones, like I went in there and when I go, it'll say, oh, 2,000 max, 1,000 max. That's how I look at what the limits are. But my interest mostly is in how I gauge where they feel most vulnerable. Again, if you're taking the biggest limits, you probably feel more confident that your line is as accurate to true implied win probability and that the VIG gets you over the hump than a small limit. If I'm taking small limits, I can't be too confident in my number or the ability for others to beat me. Okay, there's coupon code ACE50. Dude, take advantage. 50% off. I'm going to be working for fucking free for a week. Good Lord, it's all right. As long as you guys make money. It's going to be a good week, too. I was supposed to be in Florida this week. I was supposed to fly out tonight at midnight and trade from a hedge fund for, it's going to be there till next Sunday. And I was going to get the trade for 5 days, Monday to Friday. I actually paid like $15 for that privilege. But it was worth it for the hands-on education and all that. And I was disappointed. I got refunded. It was nice to get the refund back into your account. But I was really, really excited to go. And I planned to be able to do some content. And I was so excited because I'd be trading during the day and then just doing the sports at night, but it's just not meant to be. So instead, I'll be here this week and we'll be doing damage for sure as we get prepared for football. And like I said, when football comes, I know not everyone could be here all the time, every week or on time, but try to get here on time because we're going to have to keep moving forward. As stuff's coming in, we've got to keep going and keep moving forward. Because again, this is why I'm doing it on a Saturday. I don't want to do it now. I could be chilling and getting ready for UFC. But I want to get the practice in and give you guys an idea of how it's going to work. Like there'll be times of dead air and there'll be times, I'll try to, I don't know about keeping my screen open and showing all my bets that I'm placing. I'll do that on occasion, but I don't like it to come off like, oh, is he showing? Dude, that's not a lot. There's guys that bet 10 dimes, 20 dimes, 50 dimes. I don't do it for that. The reason I ever show that I'm betting is to let you know that, dude, I'm backing every opinion with my hard cash. You see this. I take it very seriously. And also see if we move line here or there. But please, 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 no, it's not for any fucking internet clout. In fact, I even told Gianni the first time when I did, I said, don't put that video out. I just don't want that out there, man. I don't, it's not why I do it. But I do want you guys to understand I am betting this shit. We are moving some numbers because of it. And you're on the right side. You're in the right team. We're partners in this. We're going to make money. And not every day, not every week. Sometimes it's going to look so easy. Sometimes it's going to look tough. I promise you, as long as you stick to the blueprint and don't cost yourself money, you will make money. Whether your bankroll's 5,000 or 50,000, you will turn a profit. But you gotta have patience, man. Markets are an instrument from transferring money from the impatient to the patient. That's what I've learned in my life. That's all markets are. Stock markets, betting markets, they just transfer money from patient people to impatient people. Because impatient people place bad bets, mismanage their bankrolls, and patient people sit back, only place good bets, never force, never overbet. And it's just a transfer of money. Because gambling, like trading, is a zero-sum game. I hate to put it that way, but for us to win, someone else has to lose. We can't both win. That's just how it is. That's how it's played. And in a zero-sum game, you got to know that going in. So please, please, please keep that always in the back of your mind. Never step to the window. I'm going to win this bet. Always step to the window knowing I could lose this bet. That even during my best runs, I'm going to lose 4 out of 10 times. I'm going to lose this bet. And that'll stop you from doing something stupid. That when you remind yourself, even during your best runs, 4 out of 10 times, you're going to throw that ticket out. It's going to be trash. You will have lost your money. Hopefully that stops you from making a lot of the mistakes I did. And that's always my biggest mistakes that I made, losing money when I shouldn't have. Which books do you look at, engage? I don't understand the question. They post their limits when you have an account with them. It shows when you go to place the bet. I think I'm just not understanding the question. The offshores that are the same thing. They all have, like Bet Online will tell you, we're taking 500 on MMA right now. Then they'll say we're taking 2,000 right now on MMA. It's with the site. They have to post their limits. I think by law, they have to post their limits. They can't just make them up on the fly. So yeah, I would just look or even ask, and they may tell you where to look at. All right, anything else? All right, let me see anything else come in. Real Madrid, Barcelona, no, that's nothing that interests us. Still Saskatchewan Rough Riders, still the last premium. Look at the baseball one more time. Okay, so we have 2 boxing bets, 4 baseball bets, 1 CFL, 1 Cage Warriors, and a shitload of MMA in the UFC. Wow. Again, I try to keep it low volume because I'm very selective, but it goes to show you there's some value out there today, guys. I never want to overwhelm you. Trust me, I don't want to overwhelm myself. I don't like putting a ton of my capital at risk. But when it's warranted, I trust the math. I stay within my limits. I never overbet. And when the dust settles, regardless of the outcome, I'm going to do the exact same thing tomorrow. And I hope you're on that same page, because you do that December 31st. We will be happy and looking forward to 2023. So best of luck the rest of the weekend, rest of the week. We picked up some money over the last 7 days. Like we said at the start, what was that? God damn, Johnny. He's the man. He posted. All right, thank you guys. 15 units, 15.7. I would say 16 units, but we only bet a quarter, remember? So we picked up 4 positions. If we could pick up 4 positions a week, wow. Again, can't promise that, but you know the goal. Stay the course, and thank you for your time. Again, I appreciate you so much. Take advantage of Ace 50. Ace 50, get on the team, and if you have the opportunity and you're in a position to be with us long term, take advantage of it. Football's here around the corner, and I don't want anyone that wants to take advantage to get shut out. Again, I swear to God, I'm not doing this to put a clock, a time limit on it. Not at all. I just don't want Johnny to be like, dude, I have 5 more guys, 10 more guys, and to try to, because I already have a stop, a hard no. And then again, after New Year's, we'll talk again, and maybe next year I'm in a position to take on 250. Who knows? I have more help, but I'm not. I got too far. We're up way too many units this year. I have too many people that have been investing with me for 7 months to me to risk all the hard work they've put in. There's a lot of people that have been here with me from the beginning, and I'm going to make sure I give them the strongest last 5 months that I have in me, dude. Be as selective as I can, be as disciplined as I can, and turn that plus 300 units into plus as many as I fucking can. I promise you, that's my only fucking goal between now and December 31st. But you're going to have to manage your risk along the way for good things to happen. I love you guys. Have a great day. Have a great week. God bless. And cash them, don't trash them. I hope it turns out well for us tonight.